What's up, Ragin Nation? How y'all doing? This is Alex. You're watching the Ragin Ronin review, and what you're about to watch is a movie review for a movie that you wouldn't normally expect me to watch, and that movie is Magic Mike. Magic Mike is a movie directed by Steven Soderbergh, starring Channing Tatum, and is based loosely off his real life as a male stripper. And the reason why I wanted to watch this movie is not because I wanted to see like buns and sausages and tea bags flying all over the place, so get that out of your system. The main reason why I wanted to watch this is because I'm very fascinated with people with average lives who do extraordinary things to get themselves to a higher point in their lives, or something that they can call success. And they do these things to reach that goal. That is very interesting to me. Like, there's movies like The Social Network, Boiler Room, The Pursuit of Happiness. These are average people with real lives who take a risk, who do these things that we wouldn't normally do to get to a point in their lives that they can call success. So that is why I wanted to watch this movie. And you have Magic Mike, played by Channing Tatum, Matthew McConaughey's character, who is the big boss of the strip club, who controls all the strippers in the movie. And then you have the kid, who's this down on his luck character, played by Alex Pettyfer, and Channing Tatum takes him under his wing, shows him the ropes, puts him on the stage, and he becomes an overnight sensation as a male stripper. And then you have the kid's sister. I don't know who plays her, and I forgot the character's name, but she brings everything down to earth. This is a story about people who live these over-the-top lives, while she brings it to a more grounded level. And she also plays the romantic interest of Magic Mike. So there are the characters. One thing about this movie is that it has a lot of subplots. There are a lot of things going on in this movie, and it's not that hard to follow, but there's one aspect of the movie that I really liked that wasn't covered a whole lot, and that is the story of Magic Mike. And his thing is that he's in this business as a male stripper because he wants to make this money and use it to finance his custom furniture business. And that, in my opinion, is very admirable. I like that about the character. It really makes it sound like it's a very real character, one that a lot of people can relate to. And then there's other subplots going on. For example, you have the story of Matthew McConaughey, who wants to take the business to Florida for expansion and making more money, but the conflict going on there is that he's kind of lowballing Magic Mike, so he's not too happy about that. Then you have the story of the kid, who's this down on his luck character, and then he kind of gets ahead of himself. You know, Channing Tatum shows him the ropes, and then he gets a little bit ahead of himself, and then he gets into all kinds of trouble and all kinds of ordeals that don't affect his life in a very positive way. And then you have the kid's sister, who brings, like I said, everything down to a grounded reality stage, and she's also the romantic interest of Channing Tatum. Now, the thing that wasn't covered enough was the whole Magic Mike story with his custom furniture business. That was something that I felt was a bit of a flaw in the movie. I wanted to see more of that because it makes the whole story more relatable. But I still have to give Steven Soderbergh props because he did bring us into a world in a very detailed way. This world is a world that we don't know very much about except for the way it's described, and that is male stripping. But there's so much more going on to that. You get to see the front of the house, the back of the house, and all the nasty things that happen that we don't know about. There's violence, there's drugs, there's a betrayal, there's backstabbing, there's all kinds of things that we don't know about in this business, and Steven Soderbergh actually shows us all this stuff in great detail. So that is really great on his part. One of the things that I noticed about the direction of this movie on the part of Steven Soderbergh is that it feels like a documentary. His direction is very bizarre in some ways, and that is, you'd have these long sequences of there's no people talking, but you see two people there. There's two people on the screen, but they're not really talking. They're just looking at each other, and it almost feels like a documentary. That's just his kind of weird style of directing. I guess it doesn't really flaw the movie, but he does do some things that are really weird. Like, there's this one sequence which involves this whole drug sequence. He puts all these weird washed out colors of orange and blue and slow-mo, and it's all fuzzy, and it just goes on for way too long, and I felt that, okay, this really affects the pacing of the movie. So that was a bit of a, I guess I have to take a point off for that, because that was just a weird, unneeded sequence. He could have tightened it up a bit by taking out scenes like that. Deep down inside, I feel that this movie could have been better. There's some things that I liked about this movie, but there's some things that could have been a lot better. I like Steven Soderbergh as a director. He directs some pretty decent movies. Overall, I enjoyed this movie. It's not a movie that I would normally go out to watch, but I like the comedy in the movie. I like that it showed us an aspect of a business that we know nothing about, so that in itself is very fascinating, and I like the characters. Oh, another thing that I gotta mention is that Alex Pettyfer has got to be the weakest link in this movie. You know, I understood the character, I felt the character, but unfortunately, his acting is just really wooden. And he's been like that in a lot of movies. He's, what is that? I Am Number 4, In Time. And this movie, he just acts the same. He's just not a very good actor at the moment. I hope to see that he improves and gets in more charismatic roles. But he's just very, very wooden and stiff in this movie, so which is really unfortunate because I think there was something there. Magic Mike, the character played by Channing Tatum, he has all this energy, but none of that energy transferred over to Alex Pettyfer, and therefore there wasn't that good chemistry there. So that was unfortunate, but that's okay because I still found the movie entertaining, and I give this movie a 7 out of 10. It's not Steven Soderbergh's best, but it's worth checking out if you're fascinated by, you know, some things about the business that you've never seen before. So there you have it, 7 out of 10. Stay tuned for my next review. I'm reviewing Savages, okay? That's the movie starring Taylor Kitsch and Aaron Johnson, directed by Oliver Stone. That's my next review, and the review after that is The Dark Knight Rises, so you're definitely not going to want to miss that. I've already seen it twice, and I felt now's the time for me to review it after I've seen it in a more, you know, focused environment. It's not at midnight, it's not late at night, and you know, I can focus on the movie, alright? Anyways, my name is Alex Yu, and thanks for watching the Ragin Ronin review. I'll see you next time. Peace. Bring much to the table. But I think the thing that really kept my attention was the story. I want to see how these guys make